What's up guys, Brandon here with Enduro E-Bikes Canada, and today Enduro E-Bikes did me the awesome favor and hooked me up with this amazing 12,000 watt matte black bike with a 48 amp hour battery in it and told me to do some long range testing with it. So for this video, I figured what better way than for us to enjoy this beautiful day and take a massive drive out to Jasper, one of the national parks here in Alberta, Canada. It's gonna be an amazing ride with a ton of really scenic views, and it's gonna be my first time really testing out the massive range that these bikes have. Enduro told me that I should be able to get at least 100 kilometers of range on this with up to around 160. So with that being said, here's a quick little overview of what our trip is gonna consist of. Hopping into the Google Maps here, we're gonna type in Jasper, Alberta. We're gonna do directions to, and via car, it's around 77 kilometers or 55 minutes. Now I'm gonna be making a couple of stops along the way to get some sweet pictures of this awesome ride. So it's probably gonna take me a little longer. If we click on the biking icon, it says that this ride should take around 4 hours and be around 80 kilometers. It also says here that there's a very steep hill. If we look at the elevation gain here, the minimum elevation is around 990 meters, and we're gonna be all the way up to around 1,134 meters today, for a total elevation gain uphill of 392 meters. So it's definitely not gonna be flat ground for something like this 12,000 watt bike. Now this is the 3-turn motor configuration, which I think is gonna be a pretty optimal configuration for the torque we're gonna need to go up some of these big mountain hills. All right, enough's enough. I'm excited to hop on this thing and get riding today. So without any further ado, you guys, let's hop on the road. Alrighty, that's it. Let's go, boys. So for today's ride, we're gonna go all the way to Jasper on one charge. Now, the game plan is, because the bike's range is probably enough to get us there with lots of safety cushion, I'm still gonna want to have time to charge the bike. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a stop in Jasper and use the fast charger in my backpack to actually do a quick charge cycle on the bike so that we have enough juice to make it home. While I'm waiting for the bike to charge in Jasper on the quick charger, I plan on just taking a walk around and enjoying some of the sights to see. I'll probably also stop and grab something to eat too, because I'll probably work up quite the appetite after today's ride. Either the battery got really cold and it dropped voltage like crazy or what, I'm not too sure. But the last little bit, it has really died on me. So, now that we're close to Jasper, the game plan would be to find a place to charge it here soon. So yeah, at this point I have to push or pedal, but yeah, one of the two, because the bike has actually died. 1K back into town. Let's go, baby. We actually managed to kill the entire battery pack on the trip to Jasper. That is pretty impressive. We're 1 kilometer outside of the town, so I have basically 1,000 meters to walk. That's kind of interesting, isn't it? So if you plan on doing a really long range commute and you have about 100 kilometers of range, I'd recommend to just go straight to where you need to go. Otherwise you could end up running low on power and not have enough to make it there. Time to see what the pedals is like, not having any power. Ooh, it's definitely difficult. Oh, not quite for me. That's uncomfortable. I see civilization. We should be able to get tower hookup probably from there, as that's a hotel. Yeah, we'll probably skip over to the other side of the road, and I'll probably start looking over there for places that we could charge this bad boy. This is getting pretty flat again, probably pedal. So the pedals are great on these bikes, like the heavier 12,000 watt, as a backup. Do not recommend using them for anything else. Okay, we got one right here, and we got another one here, and I see electrical with there, and there's a bunch here, something like here. Okay. Alrighty guys, so here we are. We finally made it to Jasper. Spent a little bit of time messing around in the sand dunes, and I think that pretty much cost me my battery. I ended up having to basically pedal it manually the last 1 kilometer to Jasper. It worked out, wasn't that bad. I'd say if you're trying to do a long distance commute and you're really trying to plan your route, make sure the distance you're going to travel is within that 100-kilometer range. Anything more than that, you really start to push the bike. This thing is absolutely dead flat. There's no power left at all. We're gonna leave it on the quick charger, which should take around 4 hours to fully charge it. Once it's fully charged, we're gonna make our way back to Hinton, and I'll see you guys there. All right, so we're halfway through the trip. We're letting the bike charge up. It's 7:38 right now, and I'm at about 81 volts. So we just took a seat here at a lovely picnic bench here in Jasper, Alberta. Amazing views all over. Had an amazing dinner while I was waiting for the bike to charge. Just gonna go over my thoughts really quick. Halfway through the trip, how I'm feeling about the bike and some of the things that I'd like improved and some of the things that I really liked about being able to ride that bike from Hinton all the way to Jasper. So one of the things that I would really recommend you do if you do plan on doing long range commuting from city to city is I would recommend getting the pan carrier for the back of the bike with the standard bicycle seat. Enduro is a company that can definitely arrange it for you, so if you're trying to custom build a bike but you don't see an option for it, just contact the sales team. They'd be more than happy to arrange it for you. It just would help to take a ton of weight off of my shoulders and inside the backpack and be able to put that on some of the pan carriers for those longer rides. The other thing I would recommend is if you're going to spec on a bike that's going to be used for city to city commuting, I'd recommend getting something like their Eco Ranger bike that has a 64 amp hour battery and a 1500 watt motor in it. That setup's gonna get you way more range than something spec built for performance like the bike they gave me today. You could also upgrade the battery in the bike that I have now to a 52.2 amp hour battery, which I'm certain would have gotten me all the way to Jasper on one charge. There's also the handy regen feature, so if you do end up finding yourself doing a lot of hills and valleys, you'll be able to ride the brakes on the way back down, and that's gonna help to recharge that battery during that trip. Some of the things that I really liked about the bike was the fact that coming into the Jasper Park gates, I didn't have to pay the $100 pass fee to be able to hang a little card in my car that said I was allowed to be here. I simply just pedaled my way on through. There was no stopping. Another great thing is once I got to Jasper, I didn't have to pay for parking either. That was a free accommodation once I was here. Simply pulled up beside the bike rack, plugged my bike in, and the charging was free too. Another thing that was really great about the Enduro e-bike was it made getting to Jasper extremely quick. Because I was able to do 50 to 60 kilometers per hour for most of the drive, I was able to get here in about an hour and a half. And that's not much longer than a car ride, and it's certainly much quicker than the cyclists I passed on the way here. As always though, it's nice to get on the bikes and go for a ride. So thanks Enduro for giving me one of the bikes to go test out today. I'd say we're probably looking at packing her in here and go check on the bike. I'd say it's ready to go. So let's make a mile and head back home. It's currently been 4 hours. And as you can see here, we're at 83 volts. And we have had the bike on charge for 4.5 hours. I'm gonna go ahead and start it up here. We got 84.1 reading up on the display there. And if we unplug it, our non-charging voltage is 83.6. So pretty much a full charge, a little bit under, but nonetheless, it should be enough to get us home. So let's go ahead and pack up this charger. All right, let's go. There's a trail that goes down here. I just can't remember where it is. I think it's over there. There we go. All right, let's switch it over to a time lapse and I'll see you guys back in Hinton. There we go, and we got 75.8 kilometers on the display, and we got 71.7 volts left. It's basically just under half because the nominal voltage of the battery pack is 72 volts, so we still have lots of mileage left in this battery pack if we were to keep riding it at 50 kilometers per hour and not making any, you know, random visits. Well guys, there you have it. That's a wrap. Our total trip time was about an hour and a half on the route back. The cruise control with the throttle was really nice. It made light work of being able to maintain a constant speed. On the downside though, that full twist grip throttle does make it pretty difficult to hold in the same spot for 3 seconds in order to actually lock it into the set speed. Having a look at the Track Solid Pro app here, I'm going to play back our trip from Jasper to Hinton, and you can see our full trip the whole way back. So you can see we started our way back at 20:37, and with no stops and a constant speed the whole way back, we managed to finish our trip at 22:07. I really loved being able to go anywhere I wanted thanks to the pedals, and I loved being able to get there quicker too thanks to the amazing power of this 12,000 watt Enduro e-bike. As you can see, we made it home with quite a bit of charge left. We charged for 4.5 hours while we messed around in Jasper, and not making it there the first time on a single charge had nothing to do with any random stops or anything like that. Cue the random donuts in the sand and me falling over. On the way there, my average speed was around 50 kilometers an hour as well. However, I was battling against really strong winds, which degraded the range as well too on the way out. On the way out there, keeping at 50 kilometers per hour was something I decided to do because the average road cyclist can pretty much keep it at around 50 kilometers per hour with no issues. The total trip time on our straight shot back home was about an hour and a half, doing 50 to 60 kilometers per hour. There were also lots of places to charge in Jasper. That was one of my main concerns. There were places at hotels, coffee shops, and even behind vending machines. The quick charger was an essential piece of kit, cutting my normal charge times of around 8 hours with the standard charger down to 4 hours, which gave me ample time to go and enjoy Jasper. I had a lot of fun, and thanks again to Enduro for letting us take this bike out for a long distance commute. If you guys think I should still spec test this bike at 32 kilometers per hour like we have with our other models, let us know down in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe for more e-biking adventures in the future, and I'll see you guys on the trails. Peace.